Modern warfare does not wait. Artificial intelligence, autonomous weapons, and persistent surveillance have compressed the decision timeline down to a fraction of a second. Training for the physical and technical demands of combat is standard, but the moral demands will outlast all others. This is the premise of the ethics laboratory. We are not analyzing the historical mechanics of how a commander decided, but rather the internal character that dictated those choices in the heat of the moment. This program builds the human anchor. When technology moves faster than human conscience can follow, the human anchor is the leader with enough developed character to hold command authority steady. If a warfighter waits until they are under fire to figure out their moral code, their hesitation becomes a catastrophic vulnerability. Ethical readiness is military readiness. By August 1864, the American Civil War had ground into a brutal stalemate. Ulysses S. Grant was bogged down in a trench war outside Petersburg that refused to move. Abraham Lincoln faced an impending election against a platform calling for peace negotiations, a political outcome that could allow the Confederacy to survive. To break the deadlock, Grant targeted Mobile Bay, Alabama, the last major Confederate port on the Gulf. As long as it remained open, it provided a lifeline for imported weapons and medicine. Closing this choke point would squeeze the final supply routes. Securing the port would provide the decisive victory required to restore Northern confidence and sustain support for the war. Rear Admiral David Farragut planned a high-risk advance, sailing a fleet of wooden ships past two heavily armed forts and a submerged minefield. The primary Confederate defense waiting inside the bay was the CSS Tennessee, a heavily armored ironclad built to shatter the Union blockade. On August 5th, Farragut's fleet moved into the channel. He ordered his wooden warships lashed in pairs, ensuring that if one ship was disabled, its partner could keep the pair moving and fighting. The plan unraveled when Commander Tunis Craven steered the ironclad Tecumseh directly into a marked minefield he had been ordered to avoid. The ship struck a mine and sank in under 60 seconds, pulling 93 sailors to the bottom. This single choice by one commander instantly stalled the attack, trapping the entire Union fleet in a lethal bottleneck under the guns of the Confederate fort. Captain James Alden, leading the column, stopped his wooden ship to avoid the mines. His hesitation left the rest of the fleet backing up behind him, sitting stationary under heavy fire. Tied to the rigging to see over the smoke, Farragut faced a decision: retreat or push the rest of his fleet into the minefield that had just destroyed the Tecumseh. Farragut chose to press forward. He ordered his flagship to steer directly through the mines, famously shouting, "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead." The fleet punched through as the submerged mines failed to detonate. Confederate Admiral Buchanan then turned his lone ironclad against the entire Union fleet, a fight his 5-knot engine made physically impossible to win against the faster Union ships. When chaos removes the time to reflect, a leader's actions are dictated by the moral anchor they built before the shooting started. The battle ended in a Union victory, but at a staggering cost. The Medal of Honor was awarded to 98 sailors for their actions that morning. These awards went to rank-and-file sailors like Michael Cassidy and William Garrison. They performed routine duties with steady competence while under fire, holding their posts through sheer grit. Their choices provide 3 maxims for modern ethical readiness. First is prudence. Know what's in the water. It is the discipline to verify what is actually true before you act, rather than relying on fatal assumptions. Second is fortitude. Close with the enemy anyway. This is the courage to engage a real threat even when you cannot guarantee the outcome. Third is hope. Keep trying, keep at it. It is the trust that sustained effort toward a real good is worth the cost, even when the results are not yet visible. Virtue is a habit. It is an operational capacity built through repeated choices made under pressure. Challenge yourself to build your own human anchor today, because ethical readiness is military readiness.